Ah, Dwarf Fortress. With its delicate fairy tales, desperate follies, dastardly foes,
The Mouse Devil.
and damn good fun.
What? No!
Kutam ilunudis wamid. Welcome one and all to the scariest place to be a hard hatless head, the dimension's most dangerous demolition site that's soon to be superbly subterranean, the Hollow Throne. And after that brief view of the surface, we're back down into the warm dark of the saffron of inking, watching the dwarves as they gear up for the yearly filling of the stained bucket. Not a tradition I've managed to capture before, what with all the hideous deaths and mundane surface work, but that could be considered a good thing in this case, as all of the dwarves are now very well practiced, and we shan't need to watch any amateurs. The idea is to stand as far back from the bucket as possible, fill yourself up with ale, and then, once fully swollen, squeeze both cheeks and attempt to get the resultant spray into the bucket. Oh, it may sound simple, but with enough rum or wine, I swear it's fun for the whole family. Speaking of, we're starting to see the younger dwarves having a go, but they're permitted to squat down over the bucket to aid accuracy. The less spatter, the better. Oh, and you may have noted this conscientious objector, Moral Worldcrafts, a newer migrant who I actually noticed at the start of the last episode. There's nothing overtly special about him, a bog-standard dwarf who happens to be an adept carpenter. But what caught my eye was actually his in-game sprite. Now, I don't know how this comparison will go down, but doesn't he just look like a teeny-tiny Simon from Neebs Gaming? Bet you weren't expecting that crossover. Moving on, we're following Olin Paddle-Lashed, who used all the noise of frolicful squirting to whip out the locks and chains, lash herself to the ceiling, and gasp in joy for the baby delivery mole. This is Olin's second baby, her first having been born before this one, which would seem a strange sentence until you bring up twins. And I know what you're thinking. One would still have to be born first, and to that I will reply, what about my patent-pending simultaneous birth baby guillotine? What do you mean, Heisenberg's uncertainty principle? Who invited the nerd? Anyway, here is little Ervad Vessel Scars. Oh, she named her after the bucket-filling tradition. How appropriate. Oh, and Olin is taking her to have a turn. Mind me, she'll have to get practically into it. Very unhygienic. And no time to fret over stained baby, though. Monom here has gone into a strange mood, and he's claimed a clothier's workshop. Not the most exciting artifact coming then, but it'll fill a pedestal. Oh, but before we can talk more about Monom, Eslom is back to whinge. Fairly certain we went over quota last year. No? Okay. 38 trees this year. We have ginkgo trees on this map tile, so that's enough timber to build a tower to the moon. I think we'll be fine. Back to Monom, and normally at this point I would fret about not having all the materials required for a clothing artifact. But we've so much cloth that he'd have to be asking for specifically yarn cloth for us to be in any trouble of him going insane. Ah, that is precisely what he's doing. Arses. It has deadly blood, how else was I supposed to draw it? Beast Smumksus mystery has gone? What? Where is it? False alarm. Glad I wasted all those hours drawing it. Bloody me! The attempt at different shades of line work that ended up looking awful beast color tagato lon gethak cubnor has come. Bloody mouthful. And let's not dwell on what the washed lowness cave of slaves could possibly mean. It's another dusty beast, but honestly I'm more concerned that it'll be hardier than the sack of water from last episode than dustier. It has met the warriors anyway. Great gouts of dust blast our dwarves, sending them spinning. Oh, there's a lot of blood. And it's down. Oh, damn, and so is Commander Reg. Struggling to breathe, I can only assume due to the dust. No. Actually, due to her throat being slit. Well, somebody is coming for her now, and they were too late. Damn. Dark way to go. But at least it wasn't the complete shambles that the last dusty beast was. Let's hope for Aleth's sake that this isn't a final destination curse and he goes down to laughing at a joke while drinking. Talking of Aleth, where is he? It makes sense that he takes over the papers. Of course, he's stuck in a mushroom tree after Color dusted him into it. Using the time wisely, though, I see. He's getting a training session in with Thigh Cut. What by me could they be training in separate trees? Let's listen in. You see, Ziggy, a good observer would have seen the dust, obviously. Kinda hard not to, but only a legendary observer would have noticed these trees and used the blasts to land safely in them. Sure, it's too bad about Reg, of course, but that's what happens when you don't follow the #1 rule. Don't die heroically saving the gormless git who got blasted into a tree. Oh, thinky, she never said that, you? And anyway, no. It's always look out for #1. Why is it all I'm hearing is #2 then? Oh, wow. Glad I chose Aleth to lead the papers. He seems like a real thinker. And he and Thicot are out of the mushroom trees. Good stuff. Oh, in all the excitement, I completely forgot about Monom. Well, he's done, now that we sheared the only ram in the fort, and he's created Oster Roost. Folded bowls? What? It's a sheep wool hood, worth a good amount considering, and has more lore baked into it than a potato at the annual police picnic. It's covered in gems, horse leather, and iron spikes, and it has an image of dwarves that supposedly relates to the foundation of the hollow throne, followed by a bas-relief in limestone of Mebzath mountain sack, dying of dehydration last year, which I guess puts the lie to my saying he died in battle. Just another victim of the trees. Oh, then a silver flail in jasper opal. If the piece seems bizarrely focused, then that would be because it is. Monom came to the Hollow Throne with something of an ulterior motive. That is to say, he didn't come here to make a hub of dwarven enterprise. No, he came to sell his newly invented foldable bowls. Yes, like those rubber ones you get for dogs. They're made from the bladders of naked mole dogs. Ironic, right? But that explains why he needed to be here. All the supply he could need, and with the recent habit of our dwarves dying of dehydration, thereby proving the need for his product, he thinks he'll be raking it in. I wonder if anybody has shown him a canteen yet. Anyway, thank you for your artifact advertisement, Monom. We shall cherish it. And his new woolly billboard was finished not too soon, as the humans have arrived to trade. And we're following old Nanny Swelteredbeard. Always nice to see the elderly keeping active. It says she's only 21, but I suppose humans don't live as long as dwarves, of course, and apparently breed like Easter bunnies. Because they lay eggs. Keep up, people. Anyway, her arrival shows off a little more of the work we've done on our surface entrance, so I'll just pan across and reveal we've now got 2 probably pointless holes in the ground above the pyramid. The actual walkable surface has blocks to block any access to the holes. Yes, completed only after somebody fell in. They were fine. Dwarves barely have legs to break. Anyway, best I get to trading, and that's too dull to share, so give me a minute. I'd never even heard of them before, Dwarf Fortress, and now they're snodding everywhere. Beast, so Shosh Osgador has come. And yes, it's a bloody thrips. The Dimension of Destiny's spirit animal. Though the game seems to have decided to portray it as a 5-legged ant with an angry black pimple. It's got noxious secretions, so providing we don't secrete anything, we should be fine. And yes, swatted in seconds by a single dwarf wearing hand-me-down pots and pans. Now, its corpse is just lying there, right? Yes, let's get that thing chopped up. See what emissions or emanations we can leach. Worst case, we'll net ourselves a barrel of bug meat for snacking. And Erib's got it, though it seems to be slow going. Come on, Wash Trumpet, put your eyebrows into it. And it's time to play with dwarven fire, which is to say, water. You see, we've a large amount of grindable flora waiting to be ground, and the Hollow Throne being a windless place, we needs must find another way to amass the power to spin milling stones. The answer, of course, is to flood the lower caverns and in doing so, power some water wheels. To that end, we'll be connecting this new trough the dwarves have dug to the turbulent lake to our southeast. Like so. With the ramps carved out, we'll have room for 6 wheels, and all being good, that'll keep us in flour for the future to come. Before we can see the completion of that, though, we find ourselves watching Kumil as he goes into a strange mood. This is the husband of Kosoth, she of the criminal baby. Now, he's a novice weapon and armour smith, so whatever happens here, we're getting ourselves a keeper, because he has claimed a smithy. Obviously, we're hoping for a legendary weaponsmith out of this, but another legendary armour smith can't hurt either. Not like we don't go through dwarves like a dog through an unguarded trifle. Anyway, we'll leave him to it. And he has created Solaz Kurlig Vagash Bal, Worship Shell, the killer of tone. A spiky, tall iron helm that covers the wearer's mouth, thus making them talk funny. Worship Shell, bloody literal translations, is better translated as prayer hat. It's a self-deprecating joke about the helm's questionable function, a rare case of humility from a dwarf. At 14,400 fath cal, no, the update did not in fact quash how overpowered meals are. It's a middle-of-the-pile sort of artifact. But didn't even ask for it as, can't be choosers apparently. And Kumail is joining his brethren in the saffron of inking for a grudgingly earned bout of fun. At least this one wasn't a billboard for his new line of hard socks to wear outside to keep your feet safe. He's not reinventing the shoe, I mean. Bloody folding bowls. Oh, don't look now, but Asmel is here. What are you doing? I said don't look. Instead, let's take a look at the iron floodgates we've got installed, ready to allow water to rush through once we knock these final walls down. The water will then gush down the tunnel and splush through the iron gates and, oh bloody me, Asmel needs us. Yes, we'll take seeds and clothing. You want ammunition? Fine, grand. Now leave me to my work. Just need somebody to link the floodgates and we're almost there. We'll come back when somebody feels like doing it. On then to the saffron of inking, where you can see... No, hang on, just remembered we need to memorialise Cybrek. Her ghost has been standing on the tables and trying to kick the dwarves' meals. Really deadened the atmosphere. We'll just pop her an engraved slab down in the extended tomb system. No, please don't count the coffins. Yes, most of them are filled. I would remind you all that I am incredibly bad at this, and you should all only ever watch me for entertainment. Is that a rock pot filled with rum in the rampway? Yes, it is. What, too depressed to get sloshed in the tavern with the ghostly apparition of your friend trying to spill your peas? Probably more likely it's a fueling station. Tavern too far to walk to? Grab a drink here! Might be some method to that madness. I'll have to think on it. Oh, and Cybrek has been laid to rest. Now she's kicking peas in the great beyond. Which is what I call the compost heap behind the shed. No use letting good soul go to waste. Oh, for me's sake, we haven't even released the dwarven fire yet, and we've already got a dead dwarf. Yes, this is her here. Smooshed into the iron grates by a roofing tile being unsupported above. I guess that's just the cost of our new power generator. Really wish Gainsborough was here for his unimpressed no. Sadly, the pair of them still haven't resurfaced after their mid-Atlantic trip. Literally. Anyway, you can see we now have the water wheels in place and everything is ready, with the corpse gone, to test this thing. Yes, here's the generator building, with space to the south for milling stones that are currently being worked on. Axles and gear assemblies already set up and waiting for the water. So, we'll just wait for somebody to hit the lever. And... wait for it. Any second now. Oh, bloody me, what's going on? Oh. Looks like our southern lake isn't connected to a map edge and is therefore finite in volume. Maybe we can beef up the water pressure by connecting the northern one to it. Every time I touch water, it ends up being a massive faff. Where's the dwarf-crushing pressure of death everybody else experiences? Why's my water so wet? Gah! Moving on from that wet fart, we're hovering now above the newly expanded saffron of inking. Yes, it was beyond time, and now what once was the dance floor is an extended dining room. North of which we can see the much wider space for our dwarves to boogie on down. Decorated with floor carvings with arrow slits to show the cavern below, and furnished with all manner of interesting instruments to be tootled, twanged, and thrummed. If we had any miserable dwarves before, and yes, we most certainly did, then we shan't for much longer. Who could keep their frown when faced with such wonderful entertainment? Well, yes, people who have seen their friends and loved ones choked to death on poisonous vapours, or their own blood. Caw, you're a maudlin lot. On to something more cheerful. We've got this soon-to-be insane individual. It's Zoogla, a dwarf with talents in nothing artifact-worthy, and so she's claimed herself a crafts dwarf workshop to make it our problem. Thing is, I know she wants to use yarn, and we've already sheared the only woolly animal in the fort, so we'll need to now juggle her sanity by every so often forbidding the stone that she's decided to use for said artifact. Until the ram grows back his wool, or we can pin one of the hairier dwarves down. The plates I have to spin for you lot. But anyway, that's going to be it for another fortnight. How are you liking the new schedule? I love it. Makes it super easy to get everything done, and I'm not left scrambling on a Thursday now because I spent the weekend doing superfluous things like sleeping or eating. You'll have to let me know in the comments, along with liking the video and subscribing if you haven't, of course. And what about the Hollow Throne? I wanted to be more open about the goals this time, what with the subterfuge of Mirrorgleam. We've got to keep things fresh, you know. But yes, another comment idea. Snod it. Why not do both? Separate comments, obviously. But with that, I'm just left with asking you to look after yourselves, and I'll see you again next time. Anus Eshon, you most wonderful of individuals. Anus Eshon. You absolute git!
Hello, Mr. C.
Oh, made it back then?
Ha, yeah, after lugging this slab of soggy stone for 1,000 miles.
Take two.
What? Oh! I'm gonna go get dry.